And if you've never watched that, you gotta check it out. That's Jeff Beck's concert at Ronnie Scott's. And that is some of the best guitar playing I've seen in ages, and drumming and keyboard and bass, just about everything. So check it out. Alright, today I was going to, well, let me show you a few things here. This is my 62, which now has tone control for the bridge pickup. It also has the plate, which I'm going to show you how to put on real quick. This guitar, these actually have 66 pickups, 66 pots. These pickups are my best sounding pickups. I don't know what's going on with them, but they sound amazing. So I have the tone control and the plate on that, and the plate actually sounds really good on there. So I decided I was going to put the plate on the 64 pickups that had just been remagnetized. This bridge pickup, of course, is a little bit on the bright side. Adding the tone control to the bridge pickup is just a matter of soldering one little wire on the 5-way switch, which I added recently. So, oh, and the other thing is, if you're ever going to work on your guitars, this book is indispensable. Guitar Player Repair Guide by Dan Earlywine. Probably one of the best repair guys in the business. He's built guitars for Albert King, so he's very well known. This book has just about everything in it, including wiring diagrams, which are very handy, see, for every kind of guitar. Also, every time I have a question, I look in here first. I usually find it. I'm going to probably replace the pots. This pot right here is 64. I wear it out. I use it every day. It's a little scratchy. I clean it quite a bit. But I just bought some new Callahan CTS 250K pots. And I'm going to show you, in this book right here, it shows you how to measure these pots. If they're over 20% off, you should replace them. I'm not sure if that's going to change the sound of the guitar. Also, I'm also going to maybe try this capacitor, even though this is recommended by Callahan as a 0.1 microfarad versus the 0.05, which should be stock in this guitar, which I haven't looked at in a long time, but we will just look at it right now. And so I didn't realize this cap was so big. I'm not even sure if it'll fit in here. I don't know. I mean, that's what he recommends for Strats. I guess there's a little bit of space in there if I can find it. Let's see, I got all the screws out. I'll flip this thing over and I'll show you a few tricks. There's a little bit of history on these plates. Oops, sorry about that. Can you see that okay? Yeah. Now this pot here, shoot, I hope it's a 250K. I mean, I'm sure it is. Here's the capacitor. Can't even hardly see that. 50 volt. Doesn't even really say. Hate to take it off if it's doing good. Anyway, I may just try the plate first. The plate just sticks on right like that. And it goes over, it has the screw holes for the screws, the adjustment screws, which I'm going to have to take it out to get it in there. I don't know if I can pull these wires up high enough. Now, the history I was going to tell you about this is I put one of these plates, I bought the same plate from Callahan, and you notice it has the tape on it, just a piece of blue tape. And the instructions are real simple. I don't know if you can see that. It just says run a bead of silicone, push plate on, tape side down, solder jumper onto ground lug, black wire. So I did that, and I didn't notice any difference in the sound. So I didn't give it any chance. I just pretty much took it right off. Said, well, that didn't work. Then, shoot, I don't know, it may have been a year later, I was looking at the plates again on the internet, and I saw you could get the plates, but they didn't have the tape on there. And I said, well, there's the problem. That's why it didn't work, because Callahan's instructions were wrong, and I was supposed to take the tape off. Well, coincidentally, the guy who remagnetized these at Rumpelstiltskin, his name's Aaron Campbell, he used to work for Bill Callahan. So I called him, and wow, I'm just looking at my magnets. This one looks like it's sticking out a little bit too much. I called him, and he said, no, you're supposed to leave the tape on. So I was wrong there. So get my wires all twisted up. So I decided to take it off anyway, since I saw those other ones that didn't have tape on it. Well, there's two ways to put this thing on. The tape is there to keep, Aaron told me the tape's there to keep from shorting out the magnets. And on the other one, for the Lindy Fralin, he puts it on all of his pickups. He uses a wax, which comes with the plate. And you put it on, and it's pre-waxed, I guess. And you take a hair dryer and you melt the wax. So the wax seals it onto the bobbin, and it reduces or eliminates microphonics. And believe me, if you don't do that, you will have a microphonic pickup. Just to try it out again, I took the tape off, just let the magnets hold it in place, wired it back up, put the strings back on, took it in, turned on the guitar and amp, and it was just crazy microphonic. I couldn't believe it. So Callahan has you use a bead of silicone, which I prefer. I think it probably gives it a little more vibration, dampening, and but I take the tape off, and I actually heard a result when I put the metal plate on without the tape. Now, I don't know if it made that much difference, but I could tell that it sounded different. And it sounds fantastic. So the silicone that you put on there is enough to insulate that plate off of the magnets so that they don't short out between the magnets, as far as I can tell. I didn't have any problem on the first one. I'm going to give it a shot on this one. And that's pretty much it. You take this wire, it lines up right with the, let's see, which way should I go? It lines up right with that solder spot, which is the ground for that pickup. So you want to ground that plate to the pickup, and it doesn't cut down on the highs, but it boosts the lows and mids, which gives the sound that it reduces the highs a little bit. It just makes the pickup a little fatter sounding. And I'm also going to wire this thing so that the tone control works on the bridge pickup. So that's a nice option. It doesn't affect the sound of the bridge pickup, but it does give you the tone option. And all you do there is just run a little jumper between this lug on your switch and this lug. You can look it up, just Google it, wiring a bridge Strat pickup to tone control, and probably what'll pop up is the instructions from Premier Guitar. And it's real simple. Like I said, you just run a jumper right there, and then it connects it to the tone. Now, how I'm going to get this in there, I have no clue. I don't know where the space is, and I might try that out. Also, to measure the pot, you have to have a digital multimeter like this. That's ohms. You put it on ohms. Now, I can't really measure it with the pickup hooked up to it, as far as I know. Let's see what we get. Yeah, we're getting, well, I don't know what we're getting. We're getting about 30. Well, who knows what I'm getting. You have to disconnect this wire here to get a good reading. But the book, that Guitar Player Repair Guide book, tells you if it's over 20% out of tolerance, it's best to replace the pot. Which I would make it, since it's a 250K, if it was over 300K, or I guess 200, anything over 300 or under 200, you should replace it. But like I said, this thing's pretty well worn out, I think. So I'm going to give it a shot, see if it helps. Now, the one thing I noticed with these pots when you measure them is one's 254 and the other one's 282, and I'm not sure if that 282 is within the tolerance. I'm assuming it is. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see which one this is. Let's see if you can see the measurement. You just touch on the outer poles. Can you see it? 254. Okay, that's the 254 on a 250K. So that's good. And that's probably the one I'll use. This one measures, I think, 280, 281 for some reason. So I'm sure they have a manufacturing tolerance. It's 282. So, see, I can't see if you can see that. I'm pretty much just touching that and that to get the measurement. Two outer lugs. But that's it. Let's see. I told you it wouldn't be quick. I went to Home Depot and bought some new silicone. This is what I've got right now. It's clear, 100% silicone. I've got some older stuff that's kind of stiff, which I'm going to try to get some more out of the tube because I wanted it a little bit thicker just in case I don't want this to touch the magnets, so I'm going to put that thicker stuff on there if I can get it out of the tube. I guess my next demo will be after all the mods, which there's nothing sacred about these guitars for me right now. Just want to get them to where they sound good and work. I don't know if you can see that yellow stamp right there. It's 1964 on the pickup. Actually, it has March 23rd. This one's March 18th. AY. I don't even know what that's. Is that somebody's initials? AY. This is FZ or EZ maybe. I don't know. Interesting. Well, all right. I'll leave you with that. I can tell you right now, these shrinking green guard pick guards that you hear about, they're a pain in the butt. I don't know if you can see, I've had to drill out the shield plate on this thing because it shrunk so much that I couldn't even get the pots out, and it put everything in a bind between the pick guard and the plate. So you really have to wallow out these holes. And I mean, even that stuff is in this book. It'll tell you how to fix a shrinking pick guard. It tells you when you should do something, when you shouldn't do something. If it's too risky, it'll tell you don't do it, send it to a pro. So I mean, I can't get by without this book. So you might want to go buy one. He has several books, but this is the main one. There's probably a newer edition that looks different. It's the same thing, Guitar Player Repair Guide. Talk to you later.